And gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy YB, and today we back into Borderlands universe. Today we're gonna be looking at our boy Killer Six's his top 10. Make sure you guys go to his channel, like, subscribe, and share. Tell him I sent you. Make sure you guys do that. We're gonna be looking at his top 10 Torgue weapons explosions. I love Torgue. I love his weapons. I'm already guessing Unkempt Tarot #1. I think that Flacker's going to make it. I have not seen this video, but I'm going to say those two weapons for sure. I can't think of nothing else at the top of my head. Torgue. Ooh, what's a good Torgue? I'm going to go with those. And then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be pleasantly surprised on everything else. So let's get it. Ready?
Lexington, or to his friends, Mr. Torgue is a businessman who loves one thing more than anything else, his grandma, but
Torgue.
Also explosions.
Shout out to Grandma Torgue, dude.
But which Torgue weapon is the best in the entire history of the Borderlands franchise?
And number 10 is...
I feel like this gun is on every single top 10 list that I'm making right now, but damned if it doesn't deserve to be. The Double Anarchy was manufactured.
I didn't know the Double Anarchy was Torgue.
Borderlands 1.
Oh my god, yeah, that's definitely in
Gearbox
there.
sees this and says, "Hey, let's bring this back," because
no, don't bring it back.
This gun was a non-unique, non-legendary weapon that shot what feels.
Yeah, don't bring it back. Excuse me, y'all, but don't bring it back. The last time they brought weapons back in Borderlands 3, the Unkempt Tarot was underwhelming. Do not bring it back. Let the Double Anarchy be the Double Anarchy. But if you're going to bring it back, it better be the best SMG in whatever game it comes back in. Period, like that. If it ain't,
like
it's
a million
problem.
bullets in a second. It had great accuracy while hip firing or while aimed down sight. And if you found one at any point of any playthrough, you were pretty much guaranteed that it was going to last you at least 5 to 10
literally one of the best
without
weapons in that
any
game.
problem whatsoever. Since it was not a red text item, you could get this thing from random chests, world drops, or vending machines.
Number 9!
Oh, the Flacker. It's gone through quite the adventure on Borderlands 3. At launch, it was one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and everybody was using it to obliterate everything in sight. And then Gearbox hit it with a nerf on October 17th, just 1 month after release, reducing the damage by an astounding 33% and making it consume the entire mag when fired. This did...
Hey, yeah, that I knew the Flacker was going to be on there. The Flacker was pretty beastly. It was actually good in the pre-sequel as well. But yeah, the Flacker definitely should be on there. That's a pretty good one. There's two good ones so far.
Not go over well at all. Then on October 24th, 1 week later, they lowered the mag size to just 1, but reduced the ammo cost from 5 per shot down to just 1. This was obviously an attempt to keep us from spamming this powerful gun, but instead, everybody just chucked their Flackers off of cliffs and moved on to the next toy. That all changed a year later in November of 2020,
I can't believe
when
they messed
Gearbox
up
went
the
on a
Flacker
bit
like
of a
that.
hot streak with quality buffs and improvements on the game, and on November 9th they
I haven't played
increased
Borderlands
the
3 in
Flacker's
so
damage
long
by
time.
50%.
Hey, if there's anybody out there who
essentially
wants to
undoing
hop on a
that
Borderlands 3
33%
playthrough,
damage
I would
nerf and
definitely
also
love to
adding a
hop on
buff
with you
top
guys.
of it. They also
Just let me know
increased
your
the fire rate
in-game
by
name in the
23%
comments below, and we
added
can
a
play. Like,
15
I would
mag
definitely
size,
want to
making
play.
the
We
Flacker very
can
strong
record
once again.
a
The life of the Borderlands 3
we can all
Flacker
record
needs to be
a
an
video
example for
together.
the
I'll
Gearbox
record the
weapons team
gameplay,
going
and then we
forward
can throw
about
that bad boy
balance
up.
at
So if you
launch
guys
and how
want
the
to, definitely hit
perception
me in the
of
comments
nerfs
below.
can absolutely do lasting harm to the game. All of that said, try the Flacker now, especially on Moze and Amara, but be careful not to blow yourself up in the process, even though Mr. Torgue would like that. The Flacker drops from Manvark in Conrad's hold on Pandora, located just outside the door from the slaughter shaft.
Number 8!
And number 8 on this list, staying on the subject of huge buffs in Borderlands 3, let's talk about the Hive. This formerly...
Man, I got the Hive a couple times in Borderlands 3. I didn't think it was any good, but again, I haven't played Borderlands 3 in a while. But it's cool that it's on here. I want to see how strong it is now. It's probably real strong now.
Blue unique launcher from Borderlands 2 made its return, but as a
the Hive usually
legendary
drop
in
from
Borderlands 3. Unlike its predecessor, though, this one is vastly easier to obtain, dropping from Princess Tarantella II in the Splinterlands on Pandora. From launch of Borderlands 3, it was a decent launcher, but the gimmick limited how useful it could be. Basically, shoot this launcher and out comes a drone that stops on contact with anything, rises up into the air, sending out additional tracking rockets that deal your weapon's element as splash damage. damage. Shortly after that,
now.
the original drone shot will also explode, also dealing weapon element splash damage. This obviously makes the Hive a very fun mobbing launcher. Just shoot it into a crowd and you can wander off while they all die. Also, unlike the Borderlands 2 version, this one can come in both corrosive and radiation variants. But what really pushed this launcher into greatness was the buff that I was talking about earlier. In August of 2021, a full 2 years after the game's release, Gearbox buffed the Hive by a ridiculous 133%. Suddenly, this mobbing launcher was also doing well versus bosses and mobs. Combine it with a strong splash damage boosting build and you can really make Mr. Torgue proud with all of those explosions. Or take it a step further and pair it with something like the Guardian Angel from the Vault cards to shoot the Hive, swap to the Guardian Angel, put distance between yourself and the enemies, and watch all the dots on the map disappear.
On to lucky number 7.
Why not go ahead and toss in another gun that got a huge buff in Borderlands 3? At number 7 is the Roizen.
Last time I played that game, that gun was terrible. So it looks like since the last time I played Borderlands 3, they've buffed a lot of guns. Apparently a lot of Torgue guns, because they were not good when I was playing the first time. So it's good to see that they've been buffing a lot. I haven't played Borderlands 3 in probably about a year. I'm actually currently playing a Salvador build on Borderlands 2. I was just able to get the with the new pack that came out, which I've been bought this game like 3 times, so I can play Borderlands 2 on my PS5. It's been great, but I haven't played Borderlands 3 in a long time. After I play Borderlands 2, I'm gonna go hop back in Borderlands to pre-sequel. But again, if you guys want to play, in-game name below. Let's get it.
Thorns. This Torgue pistol has 2 firing options, standard and sticky, which is kind of the Torgue gimmick in Borderlands 3, but more on that a little bit later on in this list. With the Roizens, you want to leave this one on the standard firing mode since that will give you a lot more damage. This gun shoots out 1 corrosive gyrojet from the middle and 4 fire orbs that surround that projectile, all of which will explode on
contact. That's the last time I played when they released that last DLC.
That lends itself well, once again, to a splash damage boosted Amara or Moze, but I've been known to let my Zane clone play around with the Roizens occasionally too. And much like the Hive, this gun was good at launch but was never great until it received 2 buffs, and they were a year apart. The first was on March 12th, 2020 when they gave it a 53.3% weapon damage buff. Decent, but it didn't really send this gun into this gun effing rocks territory. Then almost a year to the day later, Gearbox said screw it and gave this gun an additional 100% weapon damage buff. And now it suddenly felt like we were back on Borderlands 2 playing with a certain Torgue pistol that you're going to see later on this list. And just like the Hive that we covered right before this weapon, the Roizens also drops from Princess Tarantella, so happy hunting.
And now for number 6.
Coming in at number 6 is the Prompt Critical, a Torgue pistol that shoots.
This one was dope. I liked this gun. I really liked this one. This one was one of my favorite ones in the game. I was still mad what they did with the Unkempt Tarot in Borderlands 3.
3 or 4 gyrojets.
Call it something else. Don't call it the Unkempt Tarot.
Those gyrojets explode on impact, dealing the weapon's element as splash damage. This gun also has a sticky fire mode, like most Torgue weapons in Borderlands 3. If you can stick a bunch to an enemy, then the explosive damage is increased for each one that is stuck to them. Generally, I like to keep this one on sticky firing mode because the sticky round will hit and deal splash damage immediately, then also explode again after that, dealing even more damage. Now, I know a lot of Torgue gear is best suited for Moze and Amara, but this gun is amazing on everybody. It instantly melts most mobs. It's decent damage versus most bosses. The Prompt Critical is just fun to use. Now for the bad part though. To farm this gun, you're going to need to farm Evil Lilith in the Psycho Krieg DLC.
Oh my god, Evil Lilith is annoying.
Drop in that DLC.
She's so annoying.
Evil Lilith fight sucks so much that I actually will suggest you farm this from anywhere else in that DLC.
Number 5.
That's a very
let's
bad
shift back
boss
to
fight.
Borderlands 2 for the next item on this list. At number 5 is the Ogre from Borderlands 2. In a game where most assault rifles are just...
Man, if they fix the assault rifles in Borderlands 2, which they probably will never, the Ogre was already beastly. Imagine if your critical hits and stuff worked in Borderlands 2, how beastly the Ogre would be. That would be insane.
Abysmal. The Ogre shines as one of the few exceptions. The Ogre has been around since Borderlands 1, but it's at its prime in Borderlands 2. This thing fires explosive projectiles that explode on impact, dealing explosive grenade damage, obviously making this a primo axed weapon, but it's fun on every character really. The Ogre also has a 25% chance to fire twice, but where this gun gets really crazy is that it has a chance every 6 seconds to buff the player that's holding it for 6 seconds, and this buff will persist even if you swap to another weapon, allowing you to do some pretty wild stuff. The buffs you get on this are 20% damage, 50% fire rate, 100% reload speed, projectiles will ricochet off of surfaces, and 50% chance to fire twice, which will increase to 75% when paired with the base effect on the gun. But even without worrying about the buff and just using this weapon as it is, it's arguably the best all-around assault rifle in the game. Consistent damage, good fire rate, just a fun gun.
It's the best.
The main problem with this gun is how to get it. It can only drop from Warlord's Slug and Myrtleyn's Temple in the Assault on Dragon Keep DLC, and sadly, he's pretty deep in there.
That's what she said.
And this gun only has a 21.5% drop chance. So if you're after a good version of this gun with, say, like a matching grip, for example, it might take a while. The Ogre did make a return in Borderlands 3, and it's much...
Hey, Ogre was a beast. You got to go through so many rounds of the little thing, and what is that? The Tiny Tina's DLC to get it, but it's worth it. It's beastly if you can get it though. No lie.
Easier to obtain, but it just doesn't have that same oomph as the Borderlands 2 version, even after 2 separate buffs.
Okay, here we are at number 4.
Coming at number 4 is the Red Line from
Hey, the Red Line was a
3.
beast.
Oh man, I love this gun. The Red Line is a torque shotgun that fires insanely fast. When you reload it, it will trigger the explosions of the stickies, and each stuck gyrojet will increase the damage
this one's beastly.
So with a 12-round burst of these, you're going to increase your damage by 60%. Increase your mag size with artifacts and class mods to get even more out of this gun. But where you can really make this gun do wild things is when you pair it with another weapon like the Guardian Angel or the Unforgiven. If you're using it on an enemy where you can easily apply it to critical hit spots like Gravewood,
switch over,
then you're going to want to swap to the Unforgiven to boost that crit damage bonus. Otherwise, the Guardian Angel is just an always great damage bonus that you can use in any situation. Fire all the rounds out of the Red Line, and before you start reloading, immediately swap to the Guardian Angel and just watch enemies explode into pink mist. But unlike other Torgue weapons that benefit Moze and Amara the most, the Red Line gets the best use on Flak using Megavore and Fadeaway. Pop Fadeaway and use Gorillas in the Mist to not have Fade end after 3 shots. Apply a ton of sticky rounds with the Red Line, and while still in Fadeaway, swap to the Guardian Angel. This will trigger the explosions of the Red Line, and it will melt most nearly anything in the game with the right build and setup. If you'd like to see the build that I'm using for this, then check out my Destroyer of Worlds Flak or even my base game Flak, both at the link in the upper right hand.
I didn't like Flak. My favorite character was
Coming in at number 3 is the Sword Explosion. Now I know there's going to be some Borderlands 2 guys in the comment section saying this should be number...
Sword Explosion, it's good, but I never like playing with this gun. I never like playing with this gun, but it's decent. But it wasn't my play style.
And you know what? You can make a case for this being the strongest Torgue weapon overall. Using 2 ammo per shot, this shotgun shoots out exploding swords that explode on impact. That was a lot of explosions, so Mr. Torgue's probably smiling right now. These surprisingly
I just didn't like playing with
damage in the area of effect. Once the swords hit, those split into 3 extra swords that also explode, but those deal 70% grenade damage as the area of effect damage. This combination of damage types allows you to do some pretty wild damage with this thing across all the volumes.
That's why right there.
From a side quest called the Sword and the Stoner and the Unassuming
way too many times.
Dragon Keep DLC. This gun is worth resetting using cloud save farming or read-only farming until you get the casual prefix, matching Torgue grip, a foregrip, and a Hyperion stock, just like this image courtesy of lootlemon.com. Definitely check out lootlemon.com if you need any information about any of the Borderlands games. Now I have a guide linked in the description of this video to help you guys on console to do cloud save farming, and also a video for PC players so you can do read-only farming. You can also get the Unicorn Explosion from the Commander Lilith DLC.
Cloud farming is very, very, very helpful. Definitely go to his video and go learn how to do that. It's very, very helpful. It'll be coming in clutch. No, for real, for real.
as it is just a reskinned sword explosion. But I'll just point you to my guide on how to get that in the upper right hand corner of the screen.
And here we are at number 2.
At number two is the Plague Bearer from
Hey,
Borderlands
yes,
3.
I love this one. Yes, the Plague Bearer is wild.
Exactly why. You shoot it above the heads of enemies in a room, and it'll slowly fly over them, sending out additional tracking orbs that hit enemies with splash damage and whatever element you have on this gun.
One or two of those off, then go into a room with all the people. That thing could kill almost everybody, and then
also dealing the
just
weapons
do your thing, kill all the stragglers.
Essentially, this gun is like a combination of the Hive, a Singularity Grenade, and the damage of a Norfleet all rolled into one. For bosses or single targets, shoot near them or directly at them and let the gun take care of the rest. The Plague Bearer is a Mayhem 6 and above weapon, only obtainable from the Warden in the Anvil on Eden 6 at a 16.5% drop chance. It can come in every possible element, allowing you to have a version for every situation or boss. And like the Hive, you can shoot this thing.
So far, these was good. A couple of these I didn't remember that was on
here,
like
with
the Hive.
Zero effort.
Honorable mention.
My honorable mentions for Torgue contain some absolute beasts that just missed the list. The Ahab, obviously with the Pimpernel Sal, Creamer.
Whoa. I forgot. Ahab should have definitely been on there. Ahab Pimpernel glitch is one of the best glitches ever. So I think the Ahab should have been in there. The should have definitely been in there. Yeah, but a lot of these I wasn't aware in Borderlands 3, so it was good to watch this video and get re-informed and re-update on that. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's crazy.
Carnage, Kerblaster, Unicorn Explosion, World Burn, Peak Opener, Moonscaper, Lob, Scoville, Tiggs Boom, Contain Blast, and the Borderlands 1 Cobra. But I also want to send a special shout out to the OG Evil Smasher before it was nerfed into oblivion.
Number 1.
Finally, at number 1 is the Unkempt Herald, and this is absolutely zero surprise to anybody that has ever used it. The Unkempt Herald on Borderlands 2
best gun
so
ever.
Highly regarded for a number of reasons. First, it's obviously very strong. It doesn't need the help of things like the B shield, and probably the best part is how easy it is to get repeatedly. In base game Borderlands 2, you can get it from Savage Lee very early on in Three Horns Divide. That farm then becomes level locked until True Vault Hunter mode, but honestly the normal mode Herald will probably last you almost all the way through to True Vault Hunter mode. The same thing happens in True Vault Hunter mode with the Herald farm, but once you get to Ultimate mode, Savage Lee will match your level constantly, meaning you can get a Herald at level 50, level 55, 60, 65, etc., making this one of the easiest weapons to replace. And if you decide to do the OP levels, it's also one of the easiest items to get for each of your OP level increases. But I think it's also worth mentioning how good the Borderlands 3 Herald is. Obviously in Borderlands 2, the best version is the double penetrating prefix, which gives you more projectiles per shot, but on Borderlands 3 they never added that prefix to this gun, and the ×3 variant gives the same number of projectiles as the ×4 version, which they just never fixed. I'd honestly make the case that the Borderlands 3 version, despite those issues, is actually better than the Borderlands 2 version, but it does require DLC 3, The Bounty of Blood, to obtain it, and it lacks.
Man, there's no way the Unkempt Herald in Borderlands 3 is better than Borderlands 2. I'm gonna need you to calm that all the way down, buddy. That ain't it, Chief. It ain't better. Nah. Nope.
Full auto like its Borderlands 2 counterpart. It does have all the various elements as options though, and as much as I think the Borderlands 3 version is better overall, it's really hard to deny just how impactful the Borderlands 2 Herald is on that game in general. For that reason, I rank the Borderlands 2 Unkempt Herald as the king of Torgue weapons in the Borderlands franchise. So let me know in the comment section down below, which Torgue weapon do you think is the best or strongest overall?
Yes, definitely let me know again in my comment section which one do you guys pick. I'm gonna take the Unkempt Herald over all of them. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely go to Killer 6, comment on this video, like, subscribe, share, all of that. Tell him I said thank you. Great video, gave me some updates. So now that I have it on PS3, after I finish playing Borderlands 2, I'm gonna play Borderlands 2 pre-sequel. I'm gonna play with Nisha or Jack. I haven't decided. Again, if you guys want to play, I would love to play with you guys. You can hop in, throw your in-game name in the comments below. Go tell Killer 6 I sent you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because that'd be epic. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. That'd be the bees knees. And just remember, through the power of positivity, we can change the world. This been your boy YB. You guys continue to be awesome. Bye bye. LLYB.